Hello and welcome to episode 31 of Rabbit Hole Reviews. Today we're going to take a somewhat abbreviated look at a Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum revolver. In this case, this is a 629-6. It's the 629 Classic. It has a 5-inch barrel. It's a 6-shot, double action, single action, end frame revolver, stainless steel, weighing roughly 44.3 ounces empty, with synthetic grips and fully adjustable rear sight and a removable front blade. So why would you want something like a 44 Magnum revolver? Well, in my case, I had always wanted a 44 Magnum because I had viewed, in terms of having a collection, 44 Magnum was going to be the end of the line in terms of the most powerful pistol caliber that I would own. And that's true today. Now, I bought this 4 years ago, and I haven't bought anything more powerful than this since then, mainly because in terms of the way I approach collecting and storing ammunition and shooting on a regular basis, I viewed this as the most efficient cartridge that you could buy in bulk without completely breaking the bank. Because I think once you get beyond 44 Magnum, you're looking at, whether it be 460 or 480 or these 454 Casuls or 500 Smith & Wessons. All these calibers are more powerful than this, but in my case, they're prohibitively expensive to buy in large amounts. So this is a revolver you could shoot on a semi-regular basis without breaking the bank. Yes, you could use 44 Special if you don't want to shoot full power Magnums. Now, 44 Special doesn't really offer you a whole lot in terms of cost reduction over 44 Magnum, but it is less powerful, so it is easier to train with. But I looked at things like Smith & Wesson 500. At one point, I'd wanted one of those, and I looked at, users' experiences with revolvers like that. And it's one of those things where they buy it, they shoot it a couple times, and that's it. Mainly because of just the recoil and the muzzle blast and everything else, and the ease of shooting that revolver. And then, more importantly, in my opinion, is the prohibitive cost of buying ammo for something like that. So when I buy ammo, I'd want to buy something like, if I want to buy 200 rounds at a time of 44 Magnum, I can do that without completely destroying the bank account versus other calibers out there. So that was the short of it. That's why I settled on 44 Magnum, and I haven't, as of yet, bought anything more powerful. The idea behind this is actually to get a 44 Magnum lever action and have that as a companion to this revolver, which I haven't gotten around to doing yet. There's so many other things on the market that I have to get first, but eventually I'll get a 44 Magnum lever action, whereas you can really squeeze out pretty much all the ballistics out of the 44 Magnum out of, say, a 16-inch or a 20-inch barrel lever action. Will I shoot that any more often than this? Probably not. This is a gun I take out maybe once a year. In fact, I've only shot this 3 times in the 4 years that I've owned it. And the last time I shot it was last week. So I'm averaging about every 2 years I take this gun out and run a box through it. 44 Magnum, this revolver I think is a joy to shoot. It's certainly more recoil impulse than a 357 Magnum, which you can expect. But these synthetic hand grips, which a lot of people find unattractive, they actually do their job. So as for now, they're going to stay on there because they're just that effective. I looked at other custom walnut grips and things I wanted to put on there, but this actually does a good job in soaking up recoil and allowing you to really get a good purchase on the revolver when you're firing those full power loads. So let's take a quick look at it. This review is going to be shorter than most, mainly because I don't know a whole lot about revolvers, so I wouldn't want to ramble on for 15 minutes about a subject that I'm not particularly well versed on. We'll go ahead and check. Weapon is clear. So you can see, if I can get it in frame, there you've got the rear sight, front sight, very high vis in my opinion. Yes, you could get fiber optic if you wanted to. I have no problem picking up targets with these sights. They are fully adjustable, and as you'd expect, the top strap of the barrel is all bead blasted to be subdued, and it's got the ridges on there. Just a really well executed revolver. Now, it's not particularly inexpensive. I've looked at Tauruses. I may get another 44 Magnum, like a Taurus, just as a cost-saving measure, and I'll do a review on that one as well. This one is not particularly inexpensive. I paid somewhere in the high 800s for this 4 years ago. And I see them around for different price ranges all the way up to over $1,000. So they are still making these. They are still available. If you are looking for a 44 Magnum, I would say either this or maybe like a Super Red Hawk, which is not particularly cheap either. But there's something about the Smith. The trigger is very smooth. I mean, it's a little heavy in double action, which is fine. I'm not shooting this double action anyway. Single action is quite nice. Just a really nice revolver. So this is the kind of gun that you're going to buy, and I think you're going to keep it for a while, mainly because, you know, it's $900 and some dollars. So you're going to lose your shirt on it if you sell it, even though it is a Smith, I think. So it's one of those guns that it's just going to stick around in the collection as more of a conversation piece than an actual a regular shooting gun for me. Would I use this in a self-defense role? Yes, if I had to. Certainly not a house gun. You're going to destroy your eardrums with this inside. But that being said, would I carry this? No. It's 10 and a half inches long and 44 ounces in weight, empty. So not small by any means. I do like the fact that it's a 5-inch. That's one of the reasons why I picked this one over, say, a 6-inch or a 4. I think the 5-inch gives you that perfect balance between being a little bit too unwieldy, like a 6-inch, and it still allows you to squeeze a little more muzzle energy than, say, a 4-inch. So compared to a 357 Magnum, sure, this is a lot to shoot. And in fact, I actually have, for comparison, I have a 44 Magnum. This is a Remington American Eagle 44 Magnum, 240 grain. And next to it, we have a 357 Magnum. So if you can see, you can definitely notice a difference in the profile, that 44 Magnum versus 357. Not an expert opinion on that. I do enjoy shooting 38/357 more, simply because of you can just run larger number of rounds through it in a range session than you can a 44 Magnum. Once you run 50 rounds of 44 Magnum, I've pretty much been done for the day. I've seen people run a lot more than that, but 38/357 Magnum is overall a more flexible cartridge, and the ballistics on a 357 Magnum are no slouch either. So that's pretty much all I have for this one. This is going to be a 10-minute review on a Smith & Wesson Model 629 Classic. Chime in the comment section what you think about this revolver, any other information you want to add about Smiths in general or 629s. I'm really big on viewer engagement. So anything that you comment about, I will respond to. And the more information, the better. Before we go, we'll go ahead and take a look at the box that you're going to get. I happen to have this out here. It's nothing special, but we might as well take a quick look at it since it's here. It's a typical standard Smith & Wesson plastic box, nothing fancy. Inside, you're going to get just enough foam to keep the gun from rattling around, and pretty much your basic cable lock, which I haven't thrown away. I think I keep these around just in case I sell the revolver to someone else, that they have the option to throw it away themselves. The manual's pretty straightforward. It goes into pretty much all the detail you want. It's going to have a warranty card, and that's it. So no frills on the box, but I figured I would just go ahead and show you what it would look like once it gets delivered to your FFL, or if you buy it at the store. Your typical Smith & Wesson polymer box. So let's get that out of the way. And we'll take one final look at the Smith & Wesson front and back. Just such a pointable gun. Fits well in the hand. I've got fairly large hands, and you've got plenty of grip space there to hold on to. That's not going to be an issue. We'll go ahead and take a quick look close up. This has been definitely a less technical review than most, and my reviews aren't particularly technical to begin with, but this one is just really more of this is borderline unboxing. But just to give you a quick peek at it, and a recommendation that if you're looking for a 44 Magnum, I think this is a good choice. It's definitely buy once, cry once, but you get what you pay for when you buy something like this. And if I get a Taurus, which I'm looking at doing in 44 Magnum, I will review that on the channel as well. So this has been episode 31, a quick look at a Smith & Wesson Model 629-6 a 5-inch barreled 44 Magnum revolver by Smith & Wesson.